That's right. It's episode 15 of I Got the Smokes, Let's Ride podcast experience with me, BTCG. It's 5 o'clock. Get out that parking lot, get in that car, and let's get to going home. Let's start this weekend off right. Whoop, 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 whoop. I'm ready to go. I am ready to go. Now, I do know that I've been looking at the analytics that over these 14, well, I mean 14, it's been 13 because I'm a couple weeks ahead because I'm trying to get ahead of PC. But anyway, not a lot of people watch it at 5 o'clock. But here's my problem. This year, I have committed to the shtick of I'm your ride home guy. Now, I'd love to be your ride home guy, right? But evidently, you just watch it anytime you want to, which I'm fine with that. Anytime you watch it's fine with me. If you want to go ahead and cut it on and go to sleep and just let it keep running Bob the Cigar Guy videos all night, I ain't got no problem with that either. No, don't do that. That's not the integrity on that is questionable. But I'm already smoking a cigar. Why? It's 7:18 on a Wednesday. I got off work at 5:40. Walked out to my car. Took me 10 minutes because it's a half a mile from where I clock out. Got in the car, and as driving home, I stopped at Burger King and got a number one. That's a Whopper, large, with a Diet Pepsi. Or Diet Coke. Still got my Diet Coke right here. And I ate it on the way home. The first lady's not here right now. She was taking the grandkids off to stuff. So I came in the house, shed my clothes, put on some more clothes. You're welcome. And headed right out here. I shot a video for Aganor Salif, La Validation Carrejo. I'll tell you how it is when you watch the video. So go watch that video because I can use the views. They're our newest sponsor. And we'd love to show them that people watch what they're paying for. We don't promise them a good review. We promise them an honest review. And they are more than fine with that. That's all of our sponsors. So I knocked that out. And then I said, well, let me get another podcast in because they take an hour to shoot. And then they take 3 to 4 hours, depending on how the computer feels that day, to upload. And here we are 14 days from us leaving for PCA. Chief is flying. Me and the First Lady are driving. And I've got to have enough content to cover that week and then cover the following week. And it would be perfect if it covered the week after. So when I came back, I could kind of chill just a little bit. Because the first week we have PCA. It starts on Friday. The actual show starts on Saturday, Sunday, Monday. But Friday they have all you sign in, you get your stuff. They have all sorts of classes and seminars. Let me see if I can find it. It's kind of interesting. You might be interested in this. Don't click off on me, please. Just stick with me for a minute. Let's see. Blow that up. Let's make this bigger. Come on. There we go. All right, so Friday. God, that's still so small. All right, so Friday, 8 o'clock, we got registration. It opens after that, and then there's a hand-rolled documentary, which has been a video every year of somebody and their cigar story. It's pretty cool. They hand you out free cigars, right? Then there's the next generation of cigar makers session. That'll be neat for me because I would like to see what the new up-and-comings are, what PCA thinks the new up-and-comings are. And then there's the annual PCA meeting, which is just like a meeting. You get together and we're all members. We vote, blah, 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 and we vote on things and they present budgets and stuff like that. It's just a business thing. But I like to go see what's going on so that I can speak to you about whether it's valuable or not, to be honest. Then there's a good one. Cigar aficionado and Guy Fieri panel. So they'll be up there taking questions. Last year it was Nick Melillo was up telling stories. Oh my gosh, I learned more about that that River Valley, Connecticut River Valley, and the what are they called? Ice glaciers, all the glaciers, and why the soil is away and why the tobacco does. He is so amazingly smart. But Guy Fieri should be a hoot and a half. I would have loved doing that. And then that ends at 5, and from 5 to 7 is a PCA pre-party. It's kind of like a mixer. You just kind of get together, and some of the companies actually hand out cigars, and they've got hors d'oeuvres and drinks and stuff, and you just kind of get to meet up with everybody and say, "Hey, how y'all doing, man? I ain't seen you since last year," or, that kind of stuff. But that goes on Friday. Saturday we crank up at like 8 o'clock, and we'll go till 5, 6 o'clock, 6 o'clock. And then Sunday's the same, and then Monday's the same, except we're done at 4 o'clock. Right now, we have a ton of. Chief has been working really hard on getting us interviews. Let me see, and I'll read them down just in order of the way they hit the schedule. Chief gives me a schedule. On Saturday, we Drew Estate, then J.C. Newman, then Adventura, then Gurkha, then Paustani, and then JRE, and then DTT. So they're all 1 hour slots, and then we've got a couple more slots open still. Sunday we got Foundation, Zeno, AJ Fernandez, Natura Cigar, BLTC, that's Black Label Trading Company, West Tampa. Then we got a couple more spots. And then Monday, we still have some spots. We have Rabbit Air and Aganorsa Leaf on Monday, but Chief will work hard on filling those up. The first year we did it, he worked really hard on filling them up, and he got them filled up real fast. And then we had other companies reach out to us that to be honest, I'm being honest, we probably would have wanted to have them instead of a couple. I'm just being honest. And because we filled up the schedule so fast, that we had no room. So we actually are going to be doing some unique non-interviewing kind of content as well. So we're going to need time for that. It's going to be neat and fun. We also have Artesano del Tobacco, Ferio Tego, and Ellie Blue on the just walk up and see us. We're not doing schedules. Also, I just got a message from Villiger, who's going to do PC After Dark with us again this year. They'll be sponsoring it. They won't be doing it, but they'll be sponsoring it. They're not taking appointments. It's just walk up and talk to them, and it's kind of interesting. Especially, I'm just going to be transparent. If I'm sending sponsorship money to a company, even for a different product, which PC After Dark is a different product. It's a standalone product, 3 days, where I'm going to be doing at least an hour worth of content at PCA every night. Well, after PCA every night back at the Airbnb. And it's just going to be live content. But if I was sponsoring somebody to do that content, I would want to get an interview as well. I would. And they're like, okay, well, y'all stop on by, and we'll do something. So hopefully we'll get together and do something. Neat fellers. I have to listen really, really close. If you watch the video I do with him last year, and I think the year before, I'm leaning in a lot, and I'm kind of squinting my face because his accent is very thick. And so I have to make sure that I'm having to translate in my head what I'm hearing into, and then coming out with something else to say. So that is fun, and we do that with a couple companies, which is kind of interesting. But that's coming up, and then the week after PCA, after Monday, we may be going to a tobacco processing facility in Louisiana. And staying there for a day or two. And then after that, First Lady and I are going to just meander home over 3, 4, 5 days. We'll be back that Sunday, so it'll be 4 or 5 days. And we'll just go where we want to go. I mean, we've talked about going up to Oklahoma and cutting across and hitting states we've never hit before. I mean, that'd be kind of cool. But it's our anniversary week, and so we're going to spend some time I'm going to take the Bob Cigar Guy hat off, and I'm just going to be Bob. And First Lady is always going to be my love, my First Lady, and my blessing. So she's all three, the trifecta of sweetness. Anyway, we've got all that going on. So I have to double down on content. I have to knock out as many reviews as I can to get them done. And so I'm a week ahead right now, but I'd like to, like I said, be 3 weeks ahead, and I'm only 14 days out, which means I've got to do 5 weeks worth of content in 2 weeks. So lots and lots of challenges, but it's okay. And speaking of challenges, we've got some challenges here. We have the mountains on fire. A couple days ago, you could see it from a distance. The smoke was really bad. A couple ridges of mountains were between us and the smoke. And then it got a little hazier, got a little bigger, and First Lady's really aware of it, and I don't really care. And today, everything's hazy, and it smells like barbecue. I mean, there is smoke in the air, and it's getting closer and closer. And town that's very close to us, that's about, I don't know, 12 to 15 miles away, they are evacuating people from their streets. And so please, if you will, keep everybody in your prayers. Help this fire thing calm down. Evidently, the winds are not working well. Tonight, we're going to have 20-mile-an-hour winds, and the winds keep changing. So evidently, the fire department, the fire services are staging their gear to protect and cutting in trenches and fire lines and getting rid of some trees so that the fire has to stop there. And then the wind changes, and they haven't done that to the area that the fire is going through. So it's very frustrating to the firefighters. There has been no reported injuries or fatalities. There has been a lot of structures that have been burnt down. So I don't know if it's coming our way or not. I have told the First Lady, flat out and for sure, that if we get to the point where it's getting kind of close and they're starting to talk about evacuating, she will take the dogs and either go stay with Stephen, Chief, or stay with Gracie, my Caitlin, or she'll get a hotel, or she'll go see her friends in North Carolina or wherever. But I am not leaving my house. I won't do it. I will not do it. I'll dig a hole in the middle of the yard, and I'll put an old truck hood over the top of me and let that joker roll. Good, bad, or indifferent. Hopefully the fire's out by the time you hear this video, and hopefully you didn't read on Facebook that I got toasted to a crisp. I don't think that'll happen. But if that's the case, that's what happens. So there's the challenges that face our lives right now here. How is your life? How is your challenges? How is your experiences? I'd love to sit down with you and just listen to you and have you talk. I think it would be great for me just to be there for you. That would be a blessing to me. And I think that you just unloading your stuff on somebody who's just going to sit there and listen, I think that would be great for you as well. And not only do I want to hear about your hardships, your troubles, your challenges, I'd love to hear about your wins. I'd love to hear about your great things that you're excited about. I'd love to hear about your moments that are event and trophy worthy. I'd love to do that. And smoking a cigar while we're doing that, boy, that would just put the icing on the cake. I'll tell you what, a couple weeks ago now, I was on How About That Cigar podcast. Have a great time with those fellers. Great podcast, really interesting, about 2 hours long, and the time goes by really fast. And it was very enjoyable. They have a great chemistry, and they really care about the culture, and they highlight a lot of people that nobody else would highlight because they just want to reach, anybody. They'll hit goofy people like me. They'll hit major manufacturers. They'll hit boutique blends. They'll hit lounges, lounge owners. I mean, and just regular cigar smokers. They'll hit everybody, and it's really, really cool to see that process, or to see who they have on, and their flow is pretty cool. So I enjoyed that a whole lot. I hope they did too. I had a great weekend last weekend. Went to the flea market with the first lady. It was a gorgeous day. Tons of tables were out there, just people needing to get rid of their stuff, and found some great deals. And Grammy got, first lady, she got a little Thomas a Train for Stephen's youngest shepherd, which we call little Bobby, and at least I do. And so she was really cool with that. Sunday, we celebrated her birthday. She manned the grill because she wanted tuna steaks and steak, and I can cook steak, but tuna steak scares me because I know the window of tuna steak is very, very, very tiny between too dry or not cooked enough. That just right portion, just, I didn't want to do it, so I cooked everything else. And we had a great time. Everybody came, all the family came over, and it was great. They stayed the whole day, and Grammy was, sorry, First Lady was truly blessed, and I was blessed by her blessing. So that was fantastic. And then Sunday, no, it was Saturday at the flea market. I was trolling Facebook Marketplace, and I did something I told myself I'd never do. I would never prepay for an item on Facebook Marketplace. And I'll tell you why. A couple reasons. Number one is when I pay you for the item before I see it, when I get there and the item is not what I expected it to be, I find damage where the photos didn't show, it just doesn't feel like the right thing, or I found another one at a better deal, it's really hard to get your money back. Right? It's really hard to negotiate once you've already given them all your negotiating power. Second, if you've given them your money for the whatever, then they really don't have the big push to meet you to get you the stuff. So hang on, I'll be right back. So sorry. My Gracie came up. She came up to say hey, and she wanted to talk about some stuff at work. You know, she works at the car mill like I do. And so we were chitting and chatting a little bit. And so I'm going to stop and take time for family whenever I can. And I knew she wouldn't be here long, so I need to talk with her. But back to our conversation. If they don't have an impetus, they don't have a desire, they don't have a push, right? They've already got everything they're getting from you. So if you don't get it, well, that's doesn't hurt them none, right? I mean, I don't give them any fault or shame. But I prepaid for this. First time I've ever done it. Didn't like doing it, but the price for the thing I got, it wasn't going to hold. I asked if they'd hold it because I was going to go get it Saturday. They weren't going to be able to let me get it Saturday. They said they'd be open Monday. I couldn't get it till Tuesday, which was yesterday. And I knew somebody'd sneak in and get it on Monday, and it would break my heart. Because when I tell you what it is, which I'm about to, and when I tell you what it's worth, and then when I tell you what I spent, you're going to be amazed. So it was a stand-up winador, right? If you're driving, don't look. But if you aren't driving, one of these heifers right here. And this heifer is freaking floor to ceiling, almost 7 feet tall. I mean, I'm leaning this thing way back just so you see up there. It holds, I don't know, 100 and something boxes. 1,400, I think that's 1,400 cigars in that that you can put in that humidor without cramming it, just by putting the boxes in there if they're 20 count boxes. And that thing's amazing, right? It's a winador. So it doesn't have a humidification system. It does have a cooling system, but you can't use a cooling system because it actually will cycle out your humidity. So you have to be in a room that is humidified. The studios, or that's climate controlled. The studio sits between 64 and 70 degrees, usually 68. And so that's not a problem. We don't have to worry about temperature. We just talk about humidity. Getting 2 bricks of the 60-gram Bovita packs of the 68. You take 10 Bovita packs, you throw them in there in different spots. The other 10 you wait. When those Bovita packs start to dry out, you recharge them. I've gotten videos on, I think I have a humidor video that says this humidor cost me $50, and it was a smaller one that I bought off a marketplace. And so I'd go into detail as to how to recharge the Bovitas and just cycle that. So about $100 worth of Bovitas will give me the humidification system I need. And so that's not bad. So now remember that this humidor now costs $100, right? The one that I got. That's the one I've had and out in the studio, because I haven't gotten in here yet because I have to fight to get it in the house or get it in the studio. It is right out there. So I'll have 2 of them of exactly the same, almost identical. That's a better one. It's a 2-zone. And the cooling works on that one as well, but I won't use the cooling, but the pretty lights are in there and all that stuff. And so that's going to be a great humidification box to put my cigars in. Great humidor, right? And it's going to look great sitting next to the other one. And then I'm going to try and find one more off Marketplace that's a little shorter so that I can put it up under the shelf. And so I will have the wall of possibilities. I will have a wall of humidors, and don't you know that will be my new backdrop? Because if I don't look like a boss with all them, even if I put empty cigar, excuse me, even if I put empty cigar boxes in there, which I wouldn't, that's not for, maybe I would, but that's gonna look amazing, right? I mean, right? Maybe I'll even finally break down into a humidor tour, because and this humidor I have right here, I'm actually going to put it on Marketplace and sell it, because I bought it used from a vape shop that used to sell cigars, and I got it for a great deal off Marketplace. Me and Marketplace are great friends. So the humidor that's out there, the company that makes it, I priced it out. I could not find the one that was exactly that size. It's 77 inches by 28 inches wide by 34 inches deep. I mean, the thing is a monster. I found one that was the same width and same depth, but it was 6 inches shorter. It was a 71. Dual zone. That thing lists for $2,400. I did not pay $2,400. Remember, we paid $100 in humidification. I did not pay $2,400, right? I researched a couple companies that make humidors that are just like that at about the same size. They're astronomical, $4,000 or $5,000 if you want to be an honest to God humidor instead of a winador. Now it's got all the wooden drawers and or wooden shelves and stuff. It's not the wire ones that are loopy that you have to build shelves. I mean, this thing is I put it in here, set it and forget it. So the reason why I bought it and paid for it in advance is because the price was so good. I usually negotiate. I did no negotiation on this. They made the price. I met the price, and I sent them the money. I spent $35 on that thing. $35. That's it. And it works. And it's nice. Now, I bet you're wondering, did he steal it? Did the guy steal it and sell it to Bob? He owns a moving storage company. And he has all sorts of things that people say, I don't want anymore. Will you get rid of it for me? Will you just haul it off? I'll pay to haul it off. And so anything that's value, he keeps and he puts on Marketplace and he sells it. And he sells it cheap because he don't want it sitting in his storage. He wants it to move, literally. And so he does that. Now, I've got a lot of stuff on Marketplace. And the reason why is I've modified somewhat my flea market principles, and I'm good at flea market negotiation. I'm good at haggling. I enjoy it. I'm good at it. And so I'm going to leave with you some very solid fundamentals of marketplace and how to get a great deal. Is it the best deal ever? I don't know. Is it the best series of things to do? I don't know. But I know that my success rate is astronomical. When I tell you I get deals a lot for a whole lot cheaper, I usually spend between 20 to 50% of what the original asking price was. And the originally asking price has to be a deal in the first place. I look for great grand deals. And so I'm going to share with you how to be successful on Marketplace, or how I have been successful on Marketplace in purchasing things. Number one, don't need it. If you need something, I bought a car. Our car went to crap years and years and years ago. The kids were tiny, and I had to have a car. And I went into a used car lot, and I had no negotiating ability because I needed the car, and they could sense it. That's what they do for a living. And so I did not get a good deal. I got a decent price, but I did not get a deal. Turn around to 2019, right when COVID was starting to pop off. I did not need a car. I wanted a truck, but I didn't really want a truck. I wanted a truck one day, but I didn't need a truck. So we went into Toyota. We went to a couple dealerships. Went to Ford, went to Dodge, went to Chevrolet. Where else did we go? Nissan maybe, and then we went to Toyota. And I was willing to walk away from the deal. I was honest. I was up front and straightforward. Just wanted to walk away from the deal. And then they called me back twice. And they called me back the last time and then sit me down with the owner of the dealership. And I knew that they were trying to sell the cars because COVID was coming. COVID was happening and they were shutting down. Factories weren't running anymore. People weren't buying anything anymore. And I knew that it was leaning in my favor. But I ended up getting a brand hammer new truck, gorgeous truck. First lady drives it all the time for half price. Had like 50 miles on it. And I probably drove 10 or 15 on test drives. Because I didn't need it. Because I was patient. I didn't rush. So that's step number 2. Be patient. That is so important. Don't need it, but be patient. Because what I'll do is if there's something that I'm and let me get into rule number 3. Let's call it 1B. Rule 1B. Check Marketplace often. Even if it's not something that you want. Like I'm looking right now for a vertical bandsaw. A jet vertical bandsaw. I want a jet vertical bandsaw, and I want a 14-inch wheel with at least 7 inches of clearance. I know you need to know all that, but that's what I want. Any bandsaw comes up on Marketplace, I click on it. I don't want to look at it. I don't want it. It's not the one I want. But if you ever notice when you look at stuff on Facebook Marketplace, then it populates more of those things. If you look at trucks, lots of trucks are going to come up. If you look at furniture, lots of furniture is going to come up. So you can tune your algorithm to say this is what he looks for or she looks for usually. So I'm going to send him more. Facebook Marketplace is going to send you more of those types of offers of listings. Okay. So don't need it. If you need it, you got to get it. Number 1. Number 2, go often. Number 3, don't be in a hurry. Because here's the catch. If I see one that, let's say I want to buy something and it's listed for $50 and my mindset was I'd pay $40 for that item, I will reach out to them. I'll say, what's your best price? Or will you go 30? And they'll say no. And I'll say, let's meet in the middle at 40. And usually you drop a little bit. They're fine with that because they know you're gonna beat them up on the price a little bit, right? But if you want to get a deal, if you want to get a real good deal, You have to be patient, because what I do, and you have to not need it, seriously, because what I do is I will hit that little heart saved button on the thing that I want, that I really want, that I don't need, that I'm patient on. And what that does, that starts a clock. Because if I go to my Facebook Marketplace tomorrow and I look at that little icon of the body silhouette, that's my Marketplace account, whatever, and then I click on the one that said saved, which shows me all the things I've saved, it'll show that listing and it will tell me one day, which means I saved it 1 day ago. And it will also tell me if it's still available. And I can click on it and I can look at it. Maybe they changed the price or maybe they didn't. But I don't care, because I'm not going there on 1 day. I'm not going there on 7 days. I'm going to keep looking at it for 2 weeks. That's my magic number, 14 days. Don't tell Facebook Marketplace this, because they'll change their algorithms and I'll be screwed. But I will wait 2 weeks. I'll be patient. And so, in looking on Facebook Marketplace regularly, I have lots of saved items. And a number of the saved items sell, especially if it's a good deal and I'm looking for a great deal. Somebody else wanted it and they bought it. All right. And it will sell. And I'm like, I'm okay with that because I didn't need it. The great deal will happen when it's time for the great deal to happen. I mean that. Somebody else might have needed it more than you. Or you might have needed that money for something else that you don't know is coming around the corner. If you would have bought it, you would have been in trouble. Or you might have found a better deal somewhere else. And you can't because you've already got it, right? $35 for that humidor. There's not going to be a better deal than that. I bought the other one off Marketplace, and I did not pay $35 for it. I did not pay $2,400 for it. I didn't pay $500 for it. I paid, I don't know, $200, $300, $150, $200 for it. But it was a good deal then, and this is a much better deal. This is a deal I'll tell the stories to my great-great-grandkids, right? And it will still be working, because all it is a box that holds humidity and cigars. So I'll wait, and then after 2 weeks, and here's my psychology behind, by the way, this cigar is delicious. Here's the psychology behind my waiting 2 weeks. Most people sell things not because it's their business on Marketplace. Most people sell things because they've got something that they had and they don't want it anymore. Or they got something better and they're getting rid of that to afford buying something else. Or they need extra money, or they need extra space, or they're moving and it doesn't fit with their lifestyle. It's something that's in the way. It's something that is just there that they want to cash in on. And that first week, they probably have looked online to see what things are selling for. And they didn't go to Facebook Marketplace as much as they went to a regular store and looked up their product as if it was new. And so they have these high aspirations and dreams that, okay, it cost $1,000. I can sell it for $700, $800, and they'll get a $200 deal, and I'll make all that money. It doesn't work that way most often. Most often that doesn't happen. Then there's a guy say, okay, I'll mark it up for $1,000, and somebody will offer me $5,000, and I'll tell them $7,000, and I was happy to take $6,000, and so I'll make more money than I did. And so they're working all these different scenarios, right? And all the scenarios are much higher than what they're willing to pay for it after they've walked past it in their garage, in their living room, mowed around it with their lawnmower, stubbed their toe on it in the bedroom or whatever. They're just tired they're getting rid of it. And if they're married, their spouse who was like, get rid of that dang thing. I'm not throwing it away. I'm selling it. Well, get rid of it. Well, they keep saying, I thought you were going to sell this thing. You going to throw it away? And now they're at the point to where now it has no value if I throw it away. And now they're questioning themselves and say, maybe I overestimated myself. Maybe I'm the only one that ever wanted to buy this thing. Maybe nobody's going to buy it. I better take the next deal that comes my way that's even close, because I'm about to throw this thing away and make nothing. Right? In comes Bob. And I'm spilling the tea. I'm telling you the story. I'm giving you my playbook. If something is at a fair deal price to start with, I want to pay 50% of that. Something is $500, right? I'm going to want to pay no more than $250. And I will set myself for that. When I go to a casino, we went to PCA and we got to go to casino in Vegas. And when Sarah and I went on a cruise, we go down to the casino and I will have a $100 bill. And I will tell myself that I will spend $100. I'm willing to lose that $100, but I will not spend $101. I don't care if I just had a high streak and I was up $5,000 and I lost it all, and all I need to do is spin that wheel one more time. Roulette's my thing. And I'll get it all back. Nope. $100 is $100, and I stick to it. If not, I will spend everything in my pocket, and I know that. And so with marketplaces the same way. I'll say I'm willing to pay $250, period. If they come back with $255, can't do it. $250 is my number, and I will hold myself to my number. Now, that's one of my bedrock rules, but one of my other bedrock rules is never prepay for something. So maybe it'll be something that I just love more than life itself, and I underbid myself, and then I got my taxes back, or I got a windfall of some sort, and I'll break that rule too. It's my rule. I can break it if I want to. I go stand in timeout and think about what bad things I did. But so I want to spend $250. So you're saying, well, Bob, so you're going to mention to them, hey, $250. No, I am not. I'm going to take 50% of that 50%, and that's my initial offer. So, and it's $500. I want to pay no more than $250. So I'm gonna cut $250 in half. That's $125, and I'm gonna offer them $125. If I feel like, if they've already knocked the price down a couple times in the listing, I may say, hey, what's the least you'll give for that? That's a double-edged sword, because usually when you say what's the least you give for that, it's really not the least they'll give for it, but it's really, really close, and you won't get much more. And so you could actually do a better deal if you come out right and say, look, I see that you got this thing. I see it's not moving. You're kind. Say hello. Hey, how you doing? I'm kind of interested in XYZ. And I can't afford to pay that much money. My budget allows me, or the most money that I can pay. Well, I won't say the most money I can pay, because that's a lie. I don't lie, because I believe that bad transactions happen because of that. Bad fruit from a bad tree, right? And so I will say I'm willing to pay $125. And they'll come back and they'll say, well, that's too low. And I say something like, well, where can we meet? And then usually they'll come back with, let's say, $350. They'll cut it down some. They'll say $350. And I'll say, okay, I can't go $350. I'll tell you what. You're at $350. I'm at $100. You're asking $350. I'm at $125. Let's split the difference at $250. And usually they will say done, when I got exactly what I was wanting in the first place. Now, it will backfire on you. There's a guy that I messaged to him, had it for a couple weeks, and it's still on Facebook Marketplace now. And his price was his price. And I said, hey, what's the best deal you can do what's the best price you can do on that item? He goes, I listed it. I didn't hate him. I said, all right. I used to say, good luck with selling your thing, but it could come off as being snarky, like, yeah, good luck selling that. And I don't do that. So I say, I hope you get a good sale. Have a great day. Thanks for responding. Always be kind. No need not to be kind. Kindness is free. It doesn't cost me anything, and it's nice. And maybe one day he'll have something else for sale, and he may remember me. And even if he doesn't, I didn't make him feel like a jerk, and then he has to be mean to the next guy because he can't be mean to me anymore. And that's not good. Spread kindness when you can. And so that is the main keys that I find on Marketplace. By the way, if you have ideas dealing with Marketplace and how you deal with Marketplace, if you're good at it, leave me comments. I'd love to hear your stories and your style. Also, do not make your offer until you are ready to go pick up that item. Do not say, okay, I'll give you 125 or 250 or whatever it is. I'll come pick it up Thursday. And it's Monday. Don't do it. Wait till Thursday. Because, I mean, let's face it, they don't know me. They don't know you. They're not there to sell you something. They're there to sell something. So if I'm selling it for $500 and I just agreed to pay on Thursday for $250, what am I going to do? I'm going to go back to my Facebook Marketplace ad and I'm going to drop it down to $300. I'm going to make that extra $50 if I can. Why? Because I'm selling it. I'm not trying to do anything other than sell my products to somebody I don't know. You don't get the friend deal. You just got a good deal. And if I can get a better deal from somebody else, and I don't hate people when they do that. I learned that early on. So, also, my light. I just hit my light. Also, have in mind some things that you've been wanting to look for, right? I'll give you a for instance. Yesterday, we went to go pick up the Winador, the new humidor, and I had to go to the doctor. I had a doctor's appointment. I hate doctor's appointment. And the first lady, I asked her if she wanted to ride with me and go get the Winador and we get breakfast, and she said sure. I love when the first lady goes with me on doing stuff. And so we went and we got breakfast, and then we went looking for stuff. We're remodeling the bathroom and the kitchen, and so she wanted to look at some handles, some cabinetry handles, which at these boutique places, a freaking drawer pull can be $80. Really? No, thank you. But Sarah saw some real neat ideas, and so she's going to try and find a way to get them from some other manufacturer that's just as nice and but she got a lot of ideas. It was really good. And so we went to some places, and there was a place in downtown Greer, which is near us, near my doctor's office, which is at the Carmel. It's a clinic at the Park Carmel, that's where my doctor is, and so we were in the area, and so we went and looked at a hardware store, not hardware, a cabinetry store, and walking down the main street with the Winador in the back of the truck, tailgate down, it's so dang big. We're going to an antique store, and I love antique stores. And I have a list of things that I always want. I have a list in my head of things that I'm looking for, that I've done my research. And so if I see it, I know what it's worth, I know what I can get it for, and I know that I want it. So I don't have to work really hard. And the first lady didn't know all that. And so this was a whirlwind transaction that was surprising to her. She actually said, you did that really fast. And I said, not really. I've done it for 2 years now because I've been waiting for this moment. It's just, this is when it all happened. So we go to this antique store, and we're looking around. And also, I'm an old guy. I always carry cash. I highly recommend you always carry cash. Don't just carry $100 bills if you're so well heeled. Carry 5s, 10s, 20s as well, because if you need somebody to go get you gas because you're stuck on the side of the road and they'll drive up and get you gas, you give them a $100 bill, they're going to keep driving. You give them a $20 bill, then, they can do that, and then you give them $5 on top of that to say thank you or something like that. Keep the change. You're not trying to break a $100 bill, right? If the ATM machine is down and the person doesn't, and you're at the restaurant and their computer's down and you have to pay cash, you don't eat if you don't have cash. Always, always carry cash. Always. And also, when you're doing deals like this at antique stores, cash is king. I don't know why they don't want to do it with the credit cards or debit cards. I know they pay their taxes on those things, but that's not my problem. So we walk in, and y'all know the First Lady loves horses. She does. I don't like them at all, but I love the First Lady. And so we'll go into an antique store, and there will be a small horse statue that will go on a table, or horse paintings or something. And she'll usually say no, or she'll just kind of look at it, kind of scrunch her nose up. She has little tails. And I know the style of horse that she likes. And I know the face she makes when she sees something like that she likes, whether it's a painting or whatever. And so we go into this place, this antique store, and there is a solid steel, cast molded horse. The top of that horse's head is between 4 and 5 feet tall. It's 6 feet long. Big horse. It's one of the things that you don't buy for a house. This is one of the things that you have if you own a horse ranch, or if you have a major restaurant, or if you are the Kentucky Derby. It's one of those things. It's one of the big things, right? Not something for a regular house. And it was heavy. And it had holes and tabs at the feet where you bolted it down to concrete so nobody steals it. I mean, this thing was legit. And you could see the casting marks where it was such a big casting that each leg was casted individually, and the body, torso was casted individually, and then the head was casted, and they had to actually weld all those together. And you could see where the weld was. And it was black. It was flat black. And I saw it. And I looked at Sarah and waited for her to see it. And as soon as she saw it, she made that face. It's a little subtle tell, but she made that face to let me know that was nice. And then the next face she made was, there's no way we could ever afford that. I wouldn't even ask for that, because that's a lot, right? Well, they had a deer, big buck, same style, full body, same material, black, same size, and it had a price tag on it for almost $1,000. It was like $20 under $1,000. And the horse was right next to it, and it didn't have a tag on it. I'm like, all right. So the horse is going to be the same price, if not more, because we have a lot of equestrians in this area, and horses would sell, well, I don't know, South Carolina, deers would sell pretty fast too. So it's going to be $1,000. And so I looked at the guy, and he goes, hey, is there anything I can help you with? And I said, he goes, look around and blah, blah, blah. It's a bunch of different vendors that are in there. You know, it's not all his antiques. He has his antiques, and then he leases out space for other people to sell their antiques in little booths. And so I love those places. And so he goes, hey, is there anything I can help with? I said, yeah, what about this horse? Now, this is moving fast. We just got in there. And he goes, does that have a price tag on it? I said, no. I said, the other one does, but this one doesn't have a price tag. He goes, well, they should be the same price, which I had expected. And he said, are you interested in it? I said, well, I am, but I'm not interested at that price. He goes, well, hang on. Let me call the owner. I think she just brought the price down a little bit to that, which I can believe, because I priced those out, and those range anywhere between, for that size and that heft and that industrial strengthness to it, they'll run between $2,000 and $8,000. And this is probably in the $3,000 range, because it wasn't a perfectly, you know, it wasn't that perfect, right? It was very good, but it wasn't perfect. And I'm sitting there going, that's a $2,000 to $3,000 thing, and they probably charged $1,500, and it's been sitting there for a while because it was dusty. little dusty. The feet were, the body wasn't. So the lady who owns it's been paying attention to it. She's been wiping it down, but she's been too lazy to wipe it all the way down because it's been there for so long. So nobody's going to see the feet. They're just going to wipe the back and the head off. I really dive into this stuff. I really do. Because I want a deal. Because I've been broke all my life. I can't spend money. I ain't. Every penny I don't spend is a penny I still got to spend on something else. Right? Right. Like cigars and Diet Pepsi. And so he got on the phone. He goes, "Hey, I got a guy here interested in the horse statue. Yeah, the one next to the deer. Not the deer, the horse. Okay. Okay. All right, I'll tell him." So he comes back, and I think he said either $700 or $795. He took a couple $100 off of it. And he goes, "Well, she's willing. She just came down recently, but she's willing to come down a little bit more to 750, 795." And by the way I heard the conversation, by the way he responded, I knew that was not the number. I knew that she had more gravy. What I believe the conversation was is like, if you can get close to $800, I could really do that. But if if he's willing to go $500, something like that, then I think we could. Because that thing's been sitting there for a while. That just seems like the conversation was going on. And so I have not told him cash yet. I've just asked him about it. I haven't given all my information because I still want to sweeten the pot. If I tell him that in the beginning, I don't have something to sweeten. So he comes back with that number, and I said, well, let me ask you a question, friend. Will $500 cash today walk it right out that door? He looked at me. I said, right now, cash. And Sarah's kind of just standing there because this is going very fast. This is literally from the first time I saw it and he spoke to me and Sarah saw it to this point right now is maybe 3 minutes. Fast, right? I'm not driving a Bugatti. I don't have money to throw around like that. But I carry cash. I do. Just for opportunities like this. I've actually been saving that money to buy myself a pistol, but I already got a pistol. I love the First Lady more than I love having an extra pistol. And so he goes, well, hang on, let me call. And he called up and he goes, hey, he's willing to do $500 cash. Yep, okay, all right, thank you. He goes, it's yours. I said, all right. And so I go up to pay him. And so I pull the money out. And I said, you want that in 20s or you want that in hundreds? And I did not have $500 bills, and I did not have $500 worth of 20s. I had a mix of both, so I'd already started out with a couple hundreds, but I paid him the money for it. And then I had to go get the truck and pull it back around so I could get it. But as soon as we were done, I said, hey, I'm just going to go walk around and look around real quick, and then I'll pick it up. We'll take it out. He goes, okay. And so I'm walking around the store, and I really don't care about walking around the store because I've spent my money. I don't have money to spend. Lord knows if I found something I really wanted right then and there, I'd be in trouble because I've already spent my money. And Sarah goes, what are you looking at? I said, I'm really not looking at anything right now, or I might have volunteered this. I said, what I'm doing is I may come in here again, and the relationship I just built with him is that guy's got cash, 1. That guy's willing to spend money, 2. That guy is serious about his decisions, 3. And he's got more than $500 because he's still looking around the store when you drop that money down, and it did not faze him 1 minute. This is a guy I need to give a deal to next time I see him because he is a customer. He is not a looker. He is a taker. So I got the horse, pulled around, picked it up, put it in the back of the truck, went to the doctor's office, came home, unloaded the horse, which was heavy as all get out, and then I moved the Wanador up into the studio, which was a nightmare. I thought I was going to have to go pay $100 for a massage just to get my back for work, but Luckily, I'm tougher than I am smart. So this was, oops, I keep hitting this dang light. It's this big, long, lightsaber-looking 4-foot light. I got to sit in here to give this underglow that hides all your chins, and it's supposed to be flattering. And I like it, but I still haven't got used to it sitting here dangling in the air. It's kind of weird. But this was not an expected video. I was going to sit here and talk about things of the day or tell stories or whatever, but I want to share with you something that may be valuable, because if you're like me and you like to buy things on Marketplace, if you like a deal and you like great stuff, just because it's worth a ton of money doesn't mean you have to pay a ton of money. If you're patient, if you don't need it, you can get it for a lot cheaper. These humidors, if I would have paid $6,000 for 2 humidors, they would work just as well as if I paid $300 by the time it's all done for the humidors. That's another $5,700 I can buy cigars to stick in the humidors, right? Right. Then I have to buy another humidor because those humidors are going to be full, and I'll get another one. But I just want to share that with you because maybe, just maybe, you didn't think about it as systematically as I did. Like I said, I have been broke most of my life. Struggling most of my life. We have always been struggling. We grind. We work hard. But we always just get by. And now I'm at a point where I don't have to just get by. But I still have that mindset. I can do almost anything as far as building, mechanical, electrical, plumbing. I avoid toilets. Because I couldn't afford to pay anybody to do it. I wanted to fix my car. I went to school for auto body, learned how to fix a car. I ended up owning my hot rod and custom shop. I wanted to fix the cars. I took mechanics as well because I didn't want to pay a mechanic to work in my shop. And so I learned that all myself. I've got a machinist degree. I've got all sorts of stuff because I've just been broke. There's nothing wrong with being broke. There's something wrong with staying broke. Figure out how to get out of it, because it sucks to go to school. It sucks to learn new things. It sucks to be wrong. But it also sucks to be broke and dependent on everybody else. So pick what suck you want to be, right? Now, I have a ton of tools. I have humidors and I have the ability to make good deals. And you know what? I would have paid twice as much just to have the look of my wife going, that's my man. He bought that for me because he loves me. And he got a good deal because he's smart. And that is a combination that I don't get very often, but I sure am glad when I get it. I am. So I hope you did. I hope you didn't tune me out. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you laughed a little bit. You smiled a little bit, and you said, that feller's a little smarter than he looks, because I don't look very smart. I got a face for radio. I do. I believe it. But that's part of, and kindness. Honesty and kindness. Don't ever finagle a deal. Don't ever swindle a deal. If you go to somebody that's struggling and you try to knock them down on their price when they're struggling, that's the way they get by. There's nothing right with that, because you'll go into a restaurant, people will go into a restaurant and they will tip a place that doesn't need a tip. They will pay extra for stuff they don't need to pay, that company doesn't need that money, but they'll do it anyway. If somebody's down on their luck, find a way to give them a little extra. At least that's what I do. And we have got 1 minute and 7-8 seconds left. And so I didn't get to do it last time. I'm going to do it this time. I got to tell you, you're lovely. You're valuable. You're fantastic. You make the world a great place. You do. I want you to know that. I really, really do, because the world doesn't want you to know that at all. The world wants you dependent on them. The world wants you to believe that you're not good enough without whatever they're selling. You don't need it. You deserve great things because you do great things. The reason you do great things is because you're great. Not because of what you do, but because of who you are. And I truly believe that. You're created for greatness. And I hope that you allow that greatness to come out and that you share that greatness with others, because other people need that great thing that you are. Family friendly, of course. So please, please, be kind, be good, be who you are. Because I'm glad that you're here. I'm glad that you make a difference. You make a difference in my life. You do. I may never meet you, but I'm blessed to have spent this time with you. I mean that. I'll see you next week, episode 16. Man, we knocking them out. I love you. Later, Tater. Drive safe.